guys, Sean Lentz here from Appalachian DIY, and today we're going to be doing some fiberglass work. My sister brought over her Stand Up Paddleboard and it's got a crack in it. So what we're going to be doing is repairing this and hopefully making it look like new. When you look at these cracks, sometimes you can see right here it's pretty bad, but you need to make sure you're looking past the cracks and all around it, because from here to about here there's a hairline fracture crack, and on this side there's also another one. We need to take care of the entire crack. If you don't, if you only do the big part and leave this go, it's going to end up cracking down your entire board. Okay, before we get going any further, what I'm going to do is take a Sharpie and mark exactly where this crack is to make it a little bit more visible. So you guys can probably see this big piece, but you can't see these hairlines over here. Okay, looks like we got it this way while we're grinding, and when we make our drill holes on either end, we can clearly see where we need to take the material out. The way we stop it from cracking any further is drilling a hole on either side. What it does is you want to get a drill bit as large as you can, but don't make it too big, to encompass the edge of the crack. What you want is it not to crack out from that any further. After you drill your holes on either side, you need to get rid of this crack in its entirety. So start from your one drill hole and work all the way to the other. And we're going to I'm going to use a Dremel tool to get it. It's a little bit more control, or an angle grinder. But you want to make a V around this crack and get all of it out. What you're looking to do is grind away all of the broken and loose fiberglass. You want to grind the V as big as it takes to get to good solid fiberglass. Okay, so we got our V groove in here. We got it back to where it's all solid material. There was a couple little spider cracks over here, so we had to make it a little wider there to get everything back. But it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to sand maybe about ½ inch around this whole entire groove here. We're going to kind of bevel it into the V groove, and it will kind of roughen up the edges also, give it a little bit better cohesion for the fiberglass to affix to, and it will allow us later on when we go to sand it to kind of blend it in a little better. Okay, that looks pretty good. You don't need to do a lot. We just wanted to rough it up. It also smoothed out that V groove a little bit, so that should lay in there pretty nice. We blew out all of the dust. We'll flip this board up and we'll pour some resin in there to give it a good backing. Let that set, and we'll put the woven fiberglass on. Okay, so what we have here is we have a measuring cup for cough syrup. Works really well, has some measurements on it. And popsicle stick applicator. We have our resin, and we have our hardener. Go ahead and mix these up really well. You'll see some light wispy, kind of cloudy in there. You want that all mixed together. Okay, that looks pretty good. It's very clear. There's no more wisps, so we got it all mixed good. There are some bubbles in there. We'll let them sit and see if they rise to the top a little better. Okay, so we got our resin. A lot of the bubbles came out of it just letting it sit for like a minute or two. We're just going to go ahead and pour down this V groove and fill the back in. Okay, this looks pretty good. We filled the whole groove in, and we only want to go to the base of that V groove, and we don't want to come up above that because we're going to be filling that in with the fiberglass fabric. So just fill to the base of the V as a backer, and when this tacks up, we'll come back and fill it in. If you do get some bubbles in here, there's one right here at the edge. You probably can't see it in the camera, but you can take a lighter and just get close to it, and it popped right away. So you can go down through here if you have any bubbles that are on top, and just kind of go down through, and it actually brings them up to the surface, and you wind up with no bubbles. We are going to be using woven fiberglass to do this. Now there is two ways to apply this. There is a wet method and a dry method. The dry method is you paint your layer of resin on here and cut out your pieces and lay it on dry. And then brush on another coat of resin and push it through the fabric. I do not like that method because I think it's too hard to push the resin through. I feel like you get a lot more air bubbles. So what we're going to be doing is the second method, which is the wet method. You paint on the base layer just like you would before, but instead of it being dry, you saturate your fiberglass first. Get a dish and dip it in there, make sure it's saturated, and then put it on. As you push it on and move it around and manipulate it, it will push out the air along with the excess resin. I think that way works a lot better, so that's what we're going to be doing. Okay, what we got here is we got some woven fiberglass, and I cut it into some pieces. As you can see in this picture here, we want the biggest piece to go about 1/2 inch on either side of our V groove. Now this piece here is going to be our base layer, and we're going to work basically from the outside in. So I have it set up here that each piece consecutively gets smaller, because as you build in that V groove with layer after layer, we don't need to build the outsides, we need to build the inside. So as we get the outsides build up, we're going to get smaller and smaller until we get down to our last, which is just going to fill that very inside of our V groove. Now we're going to mix our resin in our mixing cup, and we're going to put it into a larger dish. That way we can just take it and soak it, make it wet, and then put it right on the board. We're going to use gloves because we're going to get this stuff all over our hands. You have your applicator, and we have a cheap little paintbrush to kind of smooth everything out. We want to put a base layer down here. Okay, that looks pretty good. Then we'll take our fabric and just lay it right on top. Okay. Now, what we need to do is we need to push it down in the center because we want to sink it into that groove. Remember, we don't want any air bubbles in here. So you're going to try and push it down in. You'll see as you move along that you're going to be pushing out some bubbles. That's good. Okay, and as you get that pushed in as best you can, go ahead, get your other layer, and just keep working it in. And as you go along, what you can do is with your applicator or finger, just go ahead and work from your center out. And what you want to do is you want to push some of this air out that's still trapped behind there as best you can while pushing down the material. Okay, this looks pretty good. What we're going to do is we're going to take the rest of our resin and we're just going to kind of give it a nice little coating. This is going to help smooth it out and also give some places that have not been coated the best. Some more resin. Okay, so we're on day 2. I let all of this stuff dry. It's been about like 24 hours, so it is rock hard. You don't have to let it get like that. You can let it start getting set a little bit and then start sanding it. It will be a lot easier. But I had stuff to do yesterday, so we just let it harden up. So what I'm going to do is take an angle grinder with a 120 grit flap wheel and just kind of take off the high stuff so it's a lot easier. And this is pretty worn too, so it's not even 120 grit. Okay, and then what we'll do is we will finish up with a block sander. Okay, so we went from 80 to 220, and now we're going to go up to 400. In each step, what you want to do is get it down to where all of the heavy marks are out, and you can just continually make it smoother and smoother. Right about, this was our crack, and right about here is where we're sanding to. So, I mean, when you're in here just going crazy, try not to get your area too big, because it'll make it a lot bigger than just your repair mark. So, this is our last step. We'll get this really nice and smooth with 400 grit. Take virtually all of the scratches out, and what this doesn't take out, paint will fill, so don't worry too much about it. Okay, so we have all of this sanding dust on the board, and we need to get it off ready for paint. Take an air hose and blow it off, and then take a rag over your section, nice clean rag, and make sure all the dust and little stuff is off. That way the paint will bond to the board better. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to paint it. I chose Rust-Oleum gloss white. It matches up pretty good, I think. And you notice the only thing that I have taped is the foam top. Everything else, like the edges here, we're just going to feather with our paint can. That way we don't have to come back and sand the edges down. Everything will just feather in. Okay, so now after we got everything painted, the very last thing to do is give it a hot coat. Why it's called hot coat, I don't know. Don't microwave your resin, don't do any of that, just mix it normally. And just give everything that you painted and scuffed up or anything, give it a light coat. This is basically to protect everything, and it's the shell on the outside. After that, wait till it cures and you're ready to go out paddleboarding again.